This news update is brought to you by
You got an upgrade for Christmas.
If you're feeling lucky, you could win some money.
Upgrade for Christmas.
$200,000 in cash and prizes. With Lime, you could win some money. It's Lime's Christmas Lottery. 250 winners this Christmas, oh yeah.
Sign up for upgrades to super fast broadband, Lime TV, e-billing, a data plan. Top up $15. Purchase a handset or text 4263 to enter.
Upgrade for Christmas.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update. It's Monday, January 5th, 2015. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. We begin with news on the labor front. The Barbados Workers Union will not be joining the National Union of Public Workers when it hits the street to protest the treatment of dismissed National Conservation Commission workers. At a meeting at Solidarity House this afternoon, the frustrated workers rejected proposals for industrial action. They have opted to put their case before the Employment Rights Tribunal, which is in the process of being reconstituted after 8 of 9 members of the body resigned on December 5 last year. Meantime, the 72-hour deadline has expired and the Barbados Union of Teachers says it is moving full steam ahead with plans to seek a mandate from its members to stage protests. The union has summoned its members to a meeting tomorrow on the first day of the new school term. The BUT has been pressing the Ministry of Education to address concerns raised by teachers about reported troubles at the Parkinson and Alma Paris secondary schools since last year. Our Emmanuel Joseph tells us more.
The BUT President, Pedro Shepherd, told Barbados Today this afternoon that while the call-out of teachers is not a strike, it would determine its next plan of action after not hearing from the Ministry of Education up to 3 o'clock this afternoon regarding its demands for a resolution to the treatment of teachers at the Alma Paris School and the Parkinson Memorial School, as well as the appointment of acting teachers. The union had given the ministry until the end of business today to respond. However, Shepherd said the only word he was aware of was a notice posted on Facebook by the Minister of Education, Ronald Jones, that there will be classes tomorrow for teachers of nursery, primary and secondary schools. Shepherd said that because there has been no official response from the ministry, the meeting will go ahead tomorrow morning at the Barbados Workers Union Solidarity House headquarters from 9 possibly until 12 noon.
Thanks, Emmanuel. And air traffic controllers who staged a brief work stoppage in November last year over poor working conditions and pay have started receiving their outstanding money. Acting Assistant General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Dwayne Paul, tells Barbados Today the compensation, which dates back to 3 years in some cases, is for acting allowances and salaries. Paul says the remaining money is still being worked out with the Ministry of International Transport.
At present, we are working with the ministry officials to look at issues relating to compensation and staffing.
Okay. So,
especially with staffing, we should have by the beginning of next month. We should be looking to begin training of new controllers. That is the target date, the beginning of February, to commence training of additional controllers.
how many?
We have to determine the numbers, but we are looking at that first tranche to have at least about 10.
As far as the control tower is concerned, Paul says conditions have improved significantly, though sunshades are still to be installed. In other news, a tragic day for a St. John family of 4 who lost all their possessions as fire destroyed their home. In the wee hours of this morning, the Lowe family of Cheshire lost their 2-bedroom wooden house in a blaze. Alison Lowe, the owner of the uninsured property, tells Barbados Today she was not at home at the time of the incident, but she received the dreaded call close to 2 a.m. The 39-year-old mother of 2, who lived in the house with her 18-month and 21-year-old daughters and a 4-year-old granddaughter, says she's uncertain about her next move.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
It's your sun power.
In sports, the West Indies were bundled out for 2:15 today, leaving South Africa 124 runs to win the third test at Newlands and take the three-test series 2-0. By the end of the day, the target had been reduced to 115 after the struggling Alvaro Peterson was bowled by Suleiman Ben in the final over of the day as South Africa reached 9 for 1. The regional boys' last 7 wickets tumbled for only 33 runs in 15 overs. Marlon Samuels made 74 and Shivnarine Chandapal, who made 50, put up a 4th wicket stand of 87 in 28 overs, which was enough to take them into the lead of 90. But once Samuels perished, attempting to strike Simon Harmer straight for 6, it went all downhill after that. To the Bahamas now, where the country's national carrier, Bahamas Air, encounters more industrial turbulence as management terminates the services of 3 pilots amidst tense relations. We get more in this ZNS report.
President of the Bahamas Airline Pilots Association, Captain Joseph Moxey, confirmed that 3 junior pilots from the national flag carrier received letters of termination effective January 9th. While he did not release the identities of those junior pilots, he did say that it is a rather unfortunate situation. Meanwhile, Bahamas Air's Executive Managing Director Henry Woods, who also declined an on-camera interview, said Bahamas Air provides a complement of pilots based on their fleet. While the loss of their Dash 8 several weeks ago, there were too many pilots employed, and so management had to make the decision to terminate those pilots that were no longer needed. Just a few days before the Christmas holiday, dozens of Bahamas Air pilots did not come to work, resulting in delays and frustrated passengers.
Internationally, divers searching for the wreckage of Air Asia Flight 8501 and the critical black box continue to face difficulties in the depths of the Java Sea. More in this CNN report.
Indonesian authorities extend the massive Operation East beyond the so-called most probable area, where crews have already retrieved dozens of bodies and located large pieces of debris believed to be from the aircraft.
The position of where they find the debris is extremely important because of the fact that you can determine whether there was an in-flight breakup or if there was a breakup, the extent of the breakup once it hit the water.
Now 9 days since the Airbus 320 went missing, and so far no signals have been detected to help hone in on the critical black boxes.
The voice recorder in the cockpit tells you what the people are saying. It also records sounds. You might hear a bang, for instance. You've also got this data recorder that's telling you what kind of thrust settings the engines were on. So you can really recreate in a great level of detail what was happening with the plane and why it came down.
Also, Indonesian officials revealing that Air Asia did not have a permit to fly the Surabaya-Singapore route on December 28th, clarifying that the airline was approved to fly the route only 4 days a week, which did not include Sunday.
And on that note, we come to the end of our Barbados Today evening update. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Lime TV to get all your latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Have an enjoyable evening.
This news update is brought to you by
I won for me to me.
For me?
Yes. You don't need speakers, right?
Upgrade to win every week with Lime. Sign up for Lime TV or broadband or purchase an iPhone 6 or Samsung Note 4. Upgrade Christmas with Lime.